the Blaydon Bell. The actual one from 1861, it looks a bit like this. Over to you, sir. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're off and running the Blaydon Races 2025! That's it, they're off! That's loud, that bell. Keep the bell going!
Welcome to my video on the Blaydon Race 2025. So this is a race that goes back in history, so it's kind of an iconic race in the northeast. It's based on the route that used to be run as a horse race back in 1811, which was last run in 1862, and at that point there was a song created which basically follows the route along. So now they try to keep the route as close to that song as they possibly can, so it's a bit of a unique race. It's a 5.9 mile race. and it came out around like 9.4 kilometers. I don't know if that's the exact conversion or if I travel a bit further, but yeah, so it's a bit of a unique race, but yeah, an iconic one in the northeast, and you'll see a lot of club fests and people from all the clubs across the northeast and even other parts of England or the UK come along to run this race. So as for me, I'm running this race kind of as part of my preparation for a 10k that I'm running towards the end of June, where I'm trying to break 35 minutes for the 10k. So this is basically part of my continued training for that, so I just use this as a B race. With that being said, I kind of aimed to go out at around a 3:35ish pace per kilometre and go from there. You'll have noticed that I put up my 1 kilometre stats, and the first kilometre was actually 3:45. Because this was a B race for me, I didn't want to start like right up the front and possibly be holding people up or have people kind of trying to get around me. So I just sort of was kind of casual about where I started, and it turns out I probably started a bit further back than might have been ideal, but yeah, it didn't really matter because again the time wasn't like crucial to me, as long as I got the kind of training effect out of this, which I definitely did. So there's 5,000 people that run this event. The corral that I was in was the first one, and anybody that was trying to run sub 45 minutes was in that corral. So there have been people sort of running all sorts of paces, and you can see that kind of maybe having to weave in and out of some people to get by, but that's kind of the standard at the start of any event. So bearing that in mind, I kind of didn't mind that I was maybe stuck behind some people to begin with, and had to sort of work my way through. If anything, it feels good to be passing people early on. I suppose it kind of gives you a bit of a boost, makes you feel a bit more comfortable at the pace that you're doing. So going into this race, I didn't taper. I basically continued. I did my long run 2 days beforehand. I did do a shorter run than usual the day before. I was still 8k, whereas usually kind of the day before an event I might only do 20 to 25 minutes of a run. So this one was a little bit longer, only about 40 minutes. It's nice and easy, but yeah, still a bit more than I would usually do. But yeah, the idea was to not go in kind of fully refreshed and going out at my kind of maximum pace, all out effort for a 10k. It was to do something that was sustainable, would get me to the end. I'd be struggling by the end, but that I wasn't all out like I would be for an actual 10k A race. So I'm going to basically save myself for that one at the end of June. I do have another one coming up this Sunday, and I might just talk about that a bit later on. So for now in the video, we're making our way up the Skinnerburn Road, and we'll end up coming to a hill, and we go up that hill and then we're on the Scotswood Road, which is a big long stretch. So yeah, it'd be pretty noticeable. Thank you. So that was us making our way up the hill to Scotswood Road. Probably doesn't look like that much of a hill, but it was like a 22-metre elevation within the distance of a kilometre. So yeah, steep enough, and it's obviously continuous. So yeah, quite a long one. As for the kilometre rip, so the second kilometre I did in 3:34, so the space opened up a bit more. It was still flat at that point, and yeah, so kind of got up to speed to where I wanted the speed to be, and was able to sort of cruise along. Going into the third kilometre, that was 3:42, obviously accounting for that hill, still a pretty good pace. I think my effort pace that the watch provides was quite quick at this point, so I was actually going above the effort that probably should have done. But yeah, I basically wasn't too worried about blowing up or anything. I was just thinking I'd do a good strong effort for this one, and you know, if I blew up, I blew up, but it wasn't too big a deal, again, with it being a B race. So now we're up and onto the Scotswood Road, so it's a big long, basically 3 kilometre stretch, basically all flat, if not slightly downhill. I'm not too sure, but yeah, entirely straight, entirely flat at worst. And the only difficult part was, I suppose, that I was going into a headwind, so you can see the conditions. It was a bit rainy on the day, kind of a bit of drizzle. It was fine for my race, but it got pretty bad later on, so I don't know if people were still running at that point, but I wouldn't have wanted to be running then. But yeah, so the wind was quite strong, so I was basically just trying to hang on to groups here, but I found myself catching and passing a lot of people. So there was times where yeah, it basically opened up and I was basically exposed to that headwind, but you know, it is what it is. It's good training, so nothing wrong with it really, especially again with it being a B race, not the end of the world. There's a bit of a wind, and hopefully it won't be for the A race. But yeah, you can see that I'm kind of cruising past a fair few people, so I have picked the speed up a bit here. I'll run through the splits kind of as we go along later on, but yeah, for now I'll leave you to it. So coming towards the end of the Scotswood road, and yeah, 3 kilometre stretch. So started at kilometre 3, and just as we come to the bridge to cross over the River Tyne is the start of the 6 kilometre, so full 3 kilometre stretch. So you've seen the 4th kilometre I did in 3:29 and the 5th one in 3:24. So picking up speed as we go into this, even though you can hear the wind in the camera itself. So yeah, you can tell kind of how strong it was, and it was literally directly into us here. So yeah, it was a tough stretch, but I mean it's you know, just over a 9 kilometre race. So at this point you're over halfway through, so kind of felt comfortable enough pushing, and you know, yeah, basically could nearly see the end in sight at this point, so didn't mind pushing it a little bit. 3:24 is a bit quicker than I planned to go, but you know, that's the kind of speed that I've been doing my 1 kilometre reps on the track at, so it's not a speed that I'm unfamiliar with, but it's just something that I didn't really anticipate running for this event. But yeah, I suppose I got swept up in the momentum, and I didn't feel too bad at this stage. It was getting difficult, but yeah, I didn't feel like I was going to blow up, so basically just ran to effort, and yeah, 3:24 per kilometre, but that was the quickest split, so after this it won't be like that again basically. So coming into the 6 kilometre, and this one is the one going across the bridge, and it was a little bit slower, 3:32, and part of that is basically got kind of stuck in this little mix, I think, but also had to kind of slow down as we're turning onto the bridge. So yeah, this one was a little bit slower, but you know, it's still kind of faster than the pace I actually planned to be running at. So yeah, at this point I was basically hoping to get across the bridge and we might be a bit more sheltered from the wind. I've never ran in this part of Newcastle before, so yeah, I didn't really know kind of what it was going to be like or what to expect. I knew we kind of came off this sort of junction exit, I suppose, and we had to do 2 hairpins, so I wasn't looking forward to them. I'm not very good on hairpins. I either slow down too much or don't slow enough, and nearly whack into people. Not very used to them, so yeah, that was kind of what was going through my head at this point. But I also just knew we're near the end, so kind of felt like I could push as much as I could. Probably not as much as I would if this was an A race, but yeah, I still felt like I was kind of putting in about as much as I could to sustainably get to the end without a big drop off basically. You can see as well it's also getting a lot more spaced out, so trying to kind of cling on to the back of groups to get any sort of draft or blockage to the wind. But I think in this direction, I think we were going with the wind, so it wasn't too bad. But when we do the hairpin, yeah, basically I was trying to latch on to people as much as I could, and then you can see all those people kind of ahead of us there. They've gone around the hairpin and turned back. I think you'll actually see the female winner wearing a number 2 bib. Yeah, you'll see her in this clip coming up. So there you go, there's the hairpin, and like I said, I was shocking at it. Took it kind of too fast, went wide and probably got in other people's way. So yeah, that wasn't good. I think I did say sorry to them there, but yeah, didn't mean to. Basically just tried to take the corner as short as I could, but yeah, messed it up a bit. But this was a pretty tough stretch. So kilometre 7 went in 3:29, so that was still pretty quick. That was obviously the portion where we kind of had the wind with us for a good bit of it, so it was a bit easier to maintain that pace. Afterwards it felt like it was just basically straight into the wind for the rest of it, so it got really tough. Really just had to push for the last kind of 2+ kilometres. Kilometre 8 was in 3:32, so slowing down a little bit, but yeah, that includes like that terrible turn where I probably did lose like a second or something, a second or two or whatever, and then, you know, getting back up to speed from doing that. So yeah, not really too surprising at that. Then kilometre 9 was just, yeah, really a struggle the whole time. You can see people kind of getting away from me there the whole time, really slowing down. So that was actually a 3:36 kilometre, so 1 second slower than the pace I planned to average for the whole thing. But I mean, I was pretty happy, to be honest, that I'd managed to get that far, doing paces faster than I planned. So I'll let you kind of listen to the crowd for the finish. It's a really good crowd towards the end there, and yeah, basically at the end I just tried to do a sprint finish. I kind of have done all my track sessions and stuff where I'm doing intervals. I try to do 400 quick at the end, and that's for the purpose of being able to sprint towards the end of races. So yeah, I'll let you just soak in the atmosphere for the rest of it. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Hello folks, large on the right, medium on the left for me. Medium.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Cheers.